Hola, people. Okay, so today I am going to do a video where I do my makeup and I also talk about one of my favorite things, the zodiac. So it is officially Virgo season, I guess. Is it season? I think it's season. Season. It's a month, but a season. Um, I by no means consider myself a zodiac expert or a horoscope expert or whatever. I just love to read this stuff, and I love to read like about compatibility and like what your rising and your moon mean, and like the charts and your birth chart and what time you're like, all that stuff like just fascinates me. And so for that reason, I wanted to make this video because I thought it'd be fun to I need to get ready anyway. Need to do my makeup and look like a human being, but also talk about Virgos and like what I think of them with like literally zero actual knowledge of the zodiac, just based off of like my own experiences with my Virgo friends, and also based on of like TikTok and like Benito Skinner. He has like the funniest videos on Instagram of each sign. So all right, so I figured, I was like, okay, this fuzzy pink top just gave me, the same vibes that my Virgo friends give me, of just like cute, but like I'll ruin your life. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's get started. So let's get this started. I'm already moisturized and everything, so I don't need to put anything else on my face. And I think today I might have some fun with the Riviera palette. I know it's an old palette, but it's like a little fun and crazy. Let's do it. Okay, so I guess I should probably start talking about what I know and don't know. So first of all, I think Virgo is like one of the ones that like I know the least about. Like I have Virgo friends and Virgo people in my life. I just don't have like that many. Like the signs that I have a lot of in my life are like I have a lot of Aries in my life. Surprisingly, not really any Sagittarius, even though I'm a Sagittarius and we're the most fun. You'd think that more would want to be around me, but I'm like running out of this. So, and I'm also not a makeup artist. I'm just like getting ready and also talking and just chatting. So this is more of like, if you want to hang out with me and listen about your potential sign, then cool. But yeah, so don't have like a lot of Virgos in my life. Like this is probably going to be based off of like 5 people total. Oh, I can't wait for this coffee to kick in, girl. Okay. And another thing is like those friendships I do have with them like are like always very easy. Like there's no like super complicated like way of acting or interacting with each other. Like it's all very easy and laid back, like always. So I appreciate that a lot. I know that they're known to be like super like organized and like clean and like anal about things, but I don't necessarily feel like my friends are that way. Or maybe if they are, it's like more subtle, it's not so obvious. But I definitely like have not experienced that. Like I've never like gone to my Virgo's friend's place and been like, oh my god, it's so clean in here, like I can't even touch anything. So all my friends think I'm like literally a nutcase, like for believing in this stuff. But I'm like, I saw this tweet the other day, not the other day, a long time ago, and it was like, I exaggerate a lot. Is that a Sagittarius trait? I'm like the most dramatic person probably in the world. I saw a tweet and it was like, do y'all really believe that there's only 12 personalities? And it's like, yes. Yeah. Like 12 is a lot. Like, what do you mean? We're human beings. Like, we're not like a bunch of different species. Like 12 personalities is so much. Okay, now I have like this base color going. I wanted to go for like, this shirt kind of gives me like Cupid Psycho vibes. So I wanted to go for something like a little bit like, not super out of the box, like go with some pink or something, but don't go like too crazy. Just because my Virgo friends, they're like one of the bolder signs as far as like what I've experienced with style. Not like Scorpio bold or like Aquarius bold, but like Aquarius is a different story because they're more like doing it to like be different and like, oh, nobody's wearing this, or like I'm gonna look crazy and have so much attention, whatever. We'll get into that. But more so like they just like want to be looking snatched at the party, so they're gonna like come in, show out, and look amazing. Also, speaking of looking snatched, all of my Virgo friends snatched, like literally go to the gym all the time, are in amazing shape. Guys and girls that I know, snatched, like perfect shape. That's like a awesome trait if you ask me. I wish I had that in me. They like just love to, maybe it's like a more of like having a ritual thing, like just like having a routine, and that's what they have. But yeah, like I have one friend who's a Virgo, and she always like had like really different accessories and like pieces of clothing, like literally since high school, and she always looks snatched, and she's in amazing shape. And every time I invite her somewhere, like she came to my birthday party last year, and like we're kind of like in different friend groups now, so we don't see each other often, but she came and she looked literally so sickening, it was not even funny. And like it wasn't like an outfit that was like, whoa, like what is she wearing? It was just like, damn, she looks good. I feel like all of my Virgo friends are like that. Ooh, I might get really bold and go with some like pink lipstick or something. I don't know. I don't know. What's funny is that like my friends that like don't really believe in it, but like I'm really close with, they'll say things like, oh, like Alex, you're like so crazy, like, oh, she believes in like the zodiac, like, because like we'll be in a group of people that we don't know, and I'll be like, oh, especially if somebody is just like acting very like either like their sign or making it known that they want everybody to pay attention to them. I'll be like, what is your sign? You know what I mean? Like, and I won't say it like that, but like I'll be like, when's your birthday? Because I always am curious. I'm like, so what's going on here? And usually if their sun sign does not really necessarily match the way they're acting, it's usually because their rising is like something psycho. Gemini. but yeah. And like sometimes I'll be like, oh, when's your birthday? And then my friends will be like, oh, here we go. And I'm like, all right, whatever. We were all thinking it, right? Like everybody wants to know why this person's acting like a fucking freak. So, you know, I'm just doing the world justice. Just let them know I'm watching you. I'm trying to understand why you're acting so crazy. Okay. So, like, I don't know if I should, like, double down on the pink. Like, what would my Virgo friends do? This is, like, a complete makeup look inspired by them. And they're always looking good, so I gotta look good. I think I'm gonna go in with a little bit of pink underneath. Ooh, yeah. That was the right choice. Yeah, like the other day, we were all hanging out, and this guy was just like so obnoxious. Like so obnoxious. And like, you know, talking extra loud so everybody would hear what he was saying. It was really, really like sucking the energy. Like it felt, you know what it felt like? It felt like he was sucking all of the energy out of everybody in the room and like using it to like fuel his annoyance. That's what it felt like. And I was like, yo, dude, you know, at this point, I don't know if we're all thinking it, but I'm definitely thinking it. I'm like, what? I'm like, when's your birthday? And he goes, I'm an Aries. And I was like, okay, so definitely has weird placements, right? Because I have Aries friends and an Aries mom, and don't nobody act like that. So, gotta have weird placements, or, you know, something. Because I don't know any Aries acts like that psycho. It was just too much. Oh my god, I'm like, I know right now it probably looks crazy, but like, I have a feeling that this is gonna be sickening. Let's go. Okay. So next, I think I'm gonna do some liner, just because I wanna be bold with it. I usually wear liner anyway, so. By the way, just to plug my Instagram, because I think I'm cute and I do some modeling for boutiques and stuff. It is just like this YouTube account, Sans the Night Away. And I post really cute pictures. I really need to be more active in the stories and stuff. But I like, you know, I'm just getting comfortable in front of the camera and whatnot. Because it's a little bit hard to do, I'm not gonna lie. Just talking to yourself. Which you'd think I wouldn't have trouble with, because like my inner monologue is like constant, and like my anxiety is like, hey, remember that thing that happened 5 years ago? That was really embarrassing. You should think about it all day long and have it ruin your day. Okay. Not even, but my eyes, I have like that uncontrollable eyebrow. Like, I literally can't control it. Like, it's just crazy when I talk. And so we're just going to have to deal with it. It'll be fine. Okay. Okay, so now that I've like mentioned all of the things that I love about my Virgo people, we're going to mention the things that I don't necessarily super love about my Virgo people. So this is a good and bad thing. Virgos are dramatic. Not dramatic in a way of like everything's like over the top, but dramatic in a way that everything's overdone. Like very theatrical. Like, I don't know how to really explain this. I'm trying not to be like mean. But you know, the Virgos I know in my life, like everything's like just a lot. Like reacting to things, like, but also that gives them creative outlets too, if that makes sense. Like all of the Virgos I know are like very like theatrical and like performing. They like to perform. They like to do stuff like that, like good at dancing, good at acting, good at singing, like all of those things. So I guess it's a good and a bad thing that they're dramatic. They overdo everything. It's like, sometimes it can be a lot though. I'm like, okay. And also they have that thing of like a little bit of my way or the highway, like domineering aspect. Like, it's not like blatant, like, oh, I'm taking charge, but like you can definitely see like when somebody doesn't agree or doesn't want to do things the way they want to do them, you can see that little like, okay, that's fine, and then they'll figure out a way to make it go their way. So that is one thing that I'm like, not my favorite, but that's okay. We still love you. Okay. But yeah, that's one thing. When I was like thinking about doing this video, I'm like, okay, what is like one main thing that I've noticed about my Virgo friends? And I'm like, they're all like really good at like performance-based things and like being creative. Like when I tell you, like, I literally have one friend that's an actor, one friend that's a dancer, one friend that's a singer, one friend that like did theater before. Like, that is that like all Virgos? Will somebody tell me? Like, do you guys, if you're a Virgo, like, are you also good at like something like artistic or creative? I would love to know. Because that would be really interesting, like if that's just like a natural trait. But yeah, that aspect of like when things don't go their way, that is very, 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 very true. Very persistent, which is a good and a bad thing. Sometimes it can be a little bit like a lot. And then sometimes I'm sure it like works out in your favor when you're being like, when you're, you know, like in a work setting or trying to reach a certain goal. So another thing, Virgos are also like very charming and like very, they're able to take care of people in certain situations. Like, the way we described it when we were in high school, like describing our friend, you know, in the movie The Hangover, how Phil is the one that kind of like talks to them and like talks to the cops and gets them out of trouble and gets like, is like very charming and like schmoozes people. That energy of just like not worried about anything and like, don't worry, I got this, Virgo energy. Which that's an amazing trait. I wish I had that so bad. Instead, it's like if I talk to somebody, I'm going to jail. Like, legitimately. Like, I could get like if I was in a situation where I had to like talk myself out of it, I'm going to jail. Like, point blank. I'm going to jail. And I'm not calling my mom either, because she's Spanish, so we all know how that would go. Ooh. The movie The Hangover. In my high school group, there was like one character for every like one of us in our group. So it's actually like, I feel like I'm always kind of in this situation where like, if you can compare friends to like a friend group in like television or a movie, I'm always going to be the person in the movie that like didn't do anything very exciting, because I'm always just like kind of like low-key in the background, like just making sure nobody dies. Okay, cool. Like, don't get me wrong, like I am always down to have fun. But like I have recognized that my main role in my friend groups is making sure that my other friends, who are much more crazy than me, don't die. And that's okay. I like that role, honestly. It has kept me out of a lot of sketchy situations and out of trouble. And it's kept my friends out of trouble. And then you have your Bradley Coopers, who you need there to get you out of trouble once you do get into trouble. They're the ones that talk to the parents and they're like, oh, don't worry, yeah, we just like took the golf cart out to go get ice cream. It's fine. Except they say it in a way that it's like, it's so believable that you can't question it. And then we have the Phils. Is it Phil, the one that is a dentist, but he calls himself a doctor? So those are the ones, the worrywarts that like freak out over everything. That was like another girl in our friend group. Her name's Maggie. Shout out to Maggie. Hopefully she watches this. That's how I'll know if she watched it, if she knows that I shouted her out. And it's hilarious because like she literally had this ability to worry about everything and like just be so freaked out. I gotta know her other placements because she's a Capricorn and that is just like not Capricorn energy. I don't know where I think I'm gonna go with this pink eyeshadow, but it's a look, sis. See, my Virgo friends wouldn't even care. They'd be like, we're going to Kroger. And it's fine. Period. I'm going wherever I want to go with this pink eyeshadow is what they would say. Mm-hmm. Okay. I love when people just like are so themselves and they don't care what anybody says. Scorpios kind of have that energy, but in like a terrifying way. That's what I was saying at the beginning. Like Virgos have like they're more bold when it comes to style and stuff, but not like to the level of Scorpio. Scorpio is like, they truly do not care at all what people think. One thing I did notice though is like, I don't have anybody that's like super, super close to me, like that we've been like inseparable best friends. Like there's nothing, you know, you have your like super inner circle of friends. I don't have any that are Virgos, and I wonder why. And it's not that I don't love the people in my life, like maybe our vibes just don't match. If somebody can tell me if Virgo and Sagittarius, if they're like super compatible or not, I'm really curious. Like I love all the Virgos in my life, but they're just not. Ooh, honey. I look so good. Can you tell I have a Leo moon? But I guess I am the type of person where like I don't really let people like tell me what to do, or like I don't like I'm not the type of person that I'm like, oh yeah, like let's just go with whatever you want to do, like because I don't care. Like if I don't like the idea, I'm gonna voice my opinion. So, and I know that, like I said earlier, like Virgos have that thing of like, oh, you don't want to do that? Okay, that's fine. So I wonder if that's why. I can't handle that energy. But I feel like I'm very like spiritual, and like I'm very in tune with like the energies around me. Like I've gone into places before and I'm like, ooh, energy is so off. Like something's wrong. Somebody was in here with bad energy. Yada, yada, yada. One thing I am glad though, I'm so glad I don't see ghosts. I don't necessarily know exactly how I feel about it. Like I don't know if I'm like straight up like ghosts are real. But I know some people in my life that straight up are like, yeah, I see ghosts like all the time. And I feel like I can feel energies, but I'm just very, very fortunate and glad that I cannot see ghosts. Because I don't think I can handle that, honestly. Like, I would, like, literally freak out. Like, I would be like, am I going crazy? Like, I would think I was going crazy. Like, schizophrenic or something. I would be so scared. Now, I feel like now that I've said that, like, ghosts are gonna come visit me tonight. They're gonna be like, oh, hey girl, heard you wanted to see us. And I'm gonna be like, no, you didn't. You heard wrong. Me and my friends used to have this joke in college of like, we would say, okay, what would you do if your like childhood pet, like you're at home chilling, hanging out, minding your own business, doing nothing, and your childhood pet is there hanging out with you, and you look over at your childhood pet, you've had him for years and years and years, grew up with him, and the dog or the cat, let's say dog in this instance, just looks up at you and says, nobody's ever gonna believe that I just said this. And that's it. And they never talk again. Like, what would you do? You would go crazy. You'd be like, oh my God, like, say it again. You'd try to get them to talk again, or you'd try to tell somebody and they'd be like, that didn't happen. And they'd be like, or they'd be like, okay, well, what did they say? And then you'd have to tell them, well, the dog said nobody's ever going to believe that I said this. And they'd be like, you're crazy. That's like one of the craziest things that like me and my friends have ever thought of, but we talk about it all the time because it's just like, it's such a crazy, like, what would you do? And like, I've met some people that are like, I would just like straight up not tell anybody. Like, I would think I was going crazy. But I'd be like, no, like, talk to me. You know? Okay, so this is a final look. that I came up with for my little Virgo babies. This is the essence of your energy to me. And I think it's really cute. Like, it's just like a little bit, you know, like pink lips, pink eyeshadow, fuzzy pink top. That's Virgo energy, cute but psycho. So I hope you guys like this video. I hope you Virgos like this video. And I hope nothing offended you. And if it did, I'm sorry.
For the record.
Get this one thing clear.